Hi there everybody, Not Sporbad here, and welcome to my traps. So today we're just going to talk about reload speed and sound walls in particular, and hopefully this is what you were asking for. If not, I'll go through wall launchers. I don't really see any other reload speed that would, well, every trap has reload, but still. Okay, well we'll go down here and we will find our sound walls. Now, I have a bunch of sound walls here. I have a whole whack full of them, and I perked them a little different just for this video for explanations here. So we have a all durability to reload effect duration sound wall, all durability to reload with heals, so it has no effect duration on it, and all durability one reload effect duration, and then all durability with effect duration as well. Then we also have these three down here. 2 reloads, all dura. Actually, I might have to change these. Well, that doesn't matter. It's the reload speed that I want to look at anyway. But I have a blue one, a purple one, and a green reload, as you can see here, and a legendary reload. Now, the reason being for that is basically for doing endurance. And the whole concept of the sound walls in endurance will load in a mission here right away, or in my home base, sorry, and we'll check it out, and I'll show you lava amp. Is to get the most amount of traps going off in a tile consistently, I guess you could say. And that being said, if we look at our stats here, actually we have 2 reload, so 2 reload here, 1 reload, and no reload. Okay, so if we look at our stats, our 2 reload has 6.5 seconds time to reload, and then our single is 8.5, and our no reload is 12. So if a husk was to walk past this trap, it would take 12 seconds for it to do its thing and reload and be ready for the next husk to walk by. So every 12 seconds, that group of husks that's on that one tile at that point in time will start dancing and get affected by the sound wall. And it's mostly for propane husks, to make the propane husks drop their propane tank so they don't carry it in your tunnel and then all of a sudden blow everything up. So that's basically the whole concept of the sound wall. So now take the 1 reload with 8.5 seconds. Now that's going to be every 8.5 seconds that it's going to do its thing, reload, and be ready for the next group of husks, right? And then we take our double reload, and these are all legendary rolls, by the way, which is 6.5. So every 6.5 seconds, which is almost half of the 12 here. So this one's twice as good, or twice as fast, I guess you could say, as this one, almost twice as fast. You know, and then if you look down here at our, let's see, blue, purple, green. Okay, so if we look at the green one first, which has one legendary and 1 green, we have a reload time of 7.4 seconds. And then I believe this was the purple one, and this was blue. Okay, so then the blue would be 7.1, and the purple is 6.8. Now, we'll just start loading in here while we're still chatting. Come back in here. Now that's how the reload works on the sound walls. So, you could do it differently with, say, this one, and we could take this second reload off of here and just put it to Dura for a second, and then you can see what a green reload by itself looks like, and it's 21%. It's actually half of legendary, and we have a reload time of 9.9 seconds. I just better put that back. So that's basically how reload works, and it's basically a matter of mathematics and figuring it all out, because really in endurance you're not really too worried about the stun time or dancing time, I guess you could say. I guess you kind of are a little bit, and that's more for so down the line in your trap tunnel further on. You kind of gotta it's best to explain it when I'm in there, but we might as well launch in here. You kind of got to watch your tunnel work, and in order to figure out what you need for sound walls. And it does, I know it sounds complicated, but you almost need like a stopwatch or something, or a timer of some sort. And I guess you could do that using a screen recorder with your endurance timer at the top, so you can get a rough guess, or use your cell phone or clock on the wall or something, and you could do some timing, and you could figure out what would work best for you. When husks are dancing, they actually walk a little bit faster as well. So effect duration is almost a bad thing, because they'll walk farther or walk faster for a longer length of time. So they'll walk faster farther into your tunnel. So you almost don't want effect duration.
We're ready to expand again.
But we will go over here.
When you're ready to start the fight, select Expand Shield from the Storm Shield console.
And we'll head over to lava here. Because this is where I was using 3 different types. So now, down in the bottom here, I believe these are just single or double reloads. Now I gotta look while that I'm in mission. And what are these? 111. So these must be singles. Yep. So these will be single reload. Same with that one. So now basically, if you can think about it this way, the huskers are going to spawn out here. Oh, okay. And anyways, they're going to head up into our tunnel. So now they are carrying said propane tank on their shoulder. Now they walk up here, and all 3 of these traps, the first husk that comes up here, are going to trigger all 3 of these traps all at the same time. And they're going to start dancing, and then they're going to start running up here, and as you can see, they're going to get hit again by another sound wall, and then again by another one, and then another one over here, and another one over here. And you kind of gotta, it's really a guessing game. That's how I did it. I just changed some traps around, and if it didn't work, I changed more and seen the results. And I don't do the math and all that, although I'm going to try a little bit here for you. So we have a double reload sound wall, which is 6.5 seconds, a single reload, which is 8.5, and then our lowly old purple here, which is 6.8. So it reloads just a little bit slower than a double reload, just a little bit, and then single, of course, is quite a bit slower. But the whole concept of this is the first husk is obviously going to trigger all 3. Bam, 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 all 3 are rocking. Now, this one is going to reload the fastest. So 6.5 seconds after the first husk walks through, this trap's going to go off again. And I need to test it, but theoretically, according to the stats of the trap. And then 6.8 seconds after that husk walks through, this one's going to go off. And then 8.5 seconds after that one goes off, like after they all go off, this one goes. So then you have a staggering effect that this one's the fastest, then this one a little later, and this one a little later. And then of course this one will be up first again, and then this one, and then this one, and they'll alternate back and forth. So basically, any husk that's going to come after the first one, of course, not the original group that comes behind the first husk, because you're going to have 6.5 seconds. Yes, 6.5 seconds of husks walking through here. So however far husks travel in 6.5 seconds is the amount of time that these traps are going to be reloading. So you'll have a bunch of husks actually get through with propane tank in hand. So then that's why this is up here, and then this one, and then this one. It's to catch all the guys that don't get hit first. Now you could have 2 more sound walls here, same as down here, have 3, same as here, have 3, but I found I didn't need that. If I had all these sound walls up here, it was, I don't know, you need to start doing damage to the propane husks. You can't just keep them dancing, because eventually you're going to run out of either sound walls and you'll be too close to your amp, like space for sound walls, and they're going to get to your amplifier before you can kill them. So you kind of got to start doing damage to them too. So that's why these wall dynamos and this wall zappers here. And same behind here, I got a zapper up here, zapper, wall darts, you know, just damage around, because you have to do that. You need to kill them, but you also want them to drop their tanks. So it is honestly is kind of a guessing game. I mean, I could do the math, but I just don't have the brain for it to figure it all out. I'd need like a couple days. So basically that's what I do, and it's just trial and error. You generally stand like way back somewhere, or somewhere that you're not going to pull them one way or pull them the other way. You know, you want to stand either directly on the amplifier if that's what they're going for, or you stand probably like behind spawn. But then you run the risk of husks coming over here and trying to get you if you're way back here, you know, because they probably will try to walk all the way from spawn back here to kill you. Propane husks probably not, unless you have an assassin build, then they're going to come after you. But then all I would do is take out my neon sniper rifle. You zoom in and then you can see which husks are dancing and which aren't, and you just watch how your tunnel works. And if need be, I mean, it's a long process, but then you exit, make some changes with your traps. Just change one at a time though, only, is what I would suggest if you're changing sound walls, especially if you have 3 like this and you want to say, that doesn't work. Make sure you just do one, something different, not all 3, because then you know which one you changed and what effect it does. It's a slow process, but that's how I usually do it. That's what takes me so long to put my videos out. Change one tile and see what happens, you know, and come back and keep working on it. Like, I'm still constantly having problems with this tile being damaged and this tile. Basically just these 2. Propane husks are still blowing up in here, and I had a wall dart here, and now I have a sound wall. So I'm going to see what that does. Hopefully that helps. And this is a double or single? I think it's single reload. I can't remember, because some of my sound walls also have, of course I just changed them, but some have effect duration, some have healing, so that's going to change stuff as well. I guess not durability, but I guess if you have one like this, it's dur at the end. But still, not all my sound walls are the same. But then, yeah, so we'll see what happens. So that's basically the premise of how reload works on sound walls. And your dance duration, you know, and stuff like that, you can get into that after, once you figure out how all this works. Then you just, because it also does, it doesn't say any tier. Interesting. Well, that's kind of interesting. It says just stuns miss monsters and causes other husks to start dancing. I thought there was a time that they were null and void to it after they were dancing. You know, like after they're done dancing, they still have a couple seconds that they can get hit by a trap and they don't start dancing again. But that could be the ear splitter or something too, or a boombox weapon, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that's what it is. Sorry to confuse you. Now, as for talking about effect duration and stuff like that, now remember how I said that husks walk faster when they dance? Well, they do. And that's not good either. So say Mr. Propane Husk walks in here and he gets hit by these traps and starts dancing for, say, 5 seconds, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. And then say that's with effect duration, right? And then say 32%, so probably could take us 1 second away just for the heck of it, right? So he's going to end up here with effect duration. So that means you have to kind of that thing's getting really annoying. So now, say if you have no effect duration and he only dances for 4 seconds, he's going to get hit here, and then say 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, and he'll end up about here instead of down there in the middle of that one before he quits dancing. And then that would be a good thing, because lo and behold, we have a sound wall right here. And if we time it properly, so 4 seconds, yeah, you'd have to do the math, but then you could figure out how husks walk through here, how many tiles per second they walk, etc., all that good stuff. And then you could plan out your tunnel mathematically, you know. But I mean, it's hard to do that too, because husks don't just come one after the other. You'll have like 1 or 2 propane husks, and say only one gets killed because you have a zapper here, the other one keeps going, so then that husk is going to respawn. Because I think generally you have like 4 to 6 propane husks at all times running around, I believe, in a propane wave. So, but it's, yeah, I apologize, I can't explain it fully, but I think you kind of get the idea. My brain hurts. Okay, so, and the other thing we're going to talk about, hopefully that's good enough explanation for you on Soundwalls, why we need single reload, double reload, and I have the purple. That's why I've been using this as different reload times and stuff to see what it does in the tunnel. And also I've been experimenting with having effect duration at the end and having nothing at the end. Well, not nothing, but like durability or healing or something to get rid of the effect duration to see what it does. I just basically barely got started back in here again. I've been kind of busy. So now I'm going to start testing again, and I'm going to see if I can get those tiles to not be injured. Because it's this one and this one. And you can see it from the AFK spot up there. If you look with your sniper, you can see a little bit of damage here. I think it was only like a quarter. You know, maybe 1,000 damage or something, or 1,500. So it's not really a big deal. It's like the odd random propane husk in here. It's not like they're blowing up your whole tunnel or anything. I think once in a while I might have... let's see here. This wall may disappear. I think it was that one, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it got better once I changed a few things, because I did change a few things. And I'm also tempted to remove this wall dart and make this into a full wall. But we'll see what happens. That's one thing at a time, like I said. So now we're going to go find some recycling here, because I wasn't sure if it was sound walls or wall launchers. Wall launchers are so much easier than sound walls. Let's go over here. Now, basically, reload on wall launchers and flare launchers and stuff. You want to stagger them. If you think about it, so say said husk walks up here, right? And of course, same as always, first husk that steps on this tile is going to trigger both of these. Now, if this has got 2 reload and this has 1, And all my launchers have legendary perks, basically. You know, like 3 impact to reload a Dura. You know, 3 impact to reload. They're all legendary. There is one in here somewhere. This one, but I've never used it. And it was to get different reload speeds. And that was more for making fancy builds. But I haven't got there yet. Maybe one day. So anyways, so the first husk steps on here, both these traps are going to go off. And I do believe the floor launcher activates just a little bit faster. I'd have to watch some of my old videos, but I think so. On the first walk on or whatever, right? With both go off at the same time or triggered at the same time. I think it's the floor launcher that's a little faster, but that's besides the point. So say this has 2 reload and this has 1, and I just want to look at times here to be sure. What is this one? So double reload is 4.3. This must be all doubles. And single reload is 5.6 seconds. So 4.3 seconds, if that's what double was. After the husk steps on here, this thing is reloaded and ready to go. You might have a little extra delay in there, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look at the wall launcher sheet, but I believe so. Anyways, roughly about 4.3 seconds after the husk steps on here. This one's going to go off again, but this one's single reload, so it's 5. Don't make me look again. 5.6. So anyways, so then this one's going to go again first. So then there's a bunch of husks walking on here constantly, right? And both are going to go off at the same time. Then this one will trigger next. So just the wall launcher will hit them down here. And then, of course, a second, 1.3 seconds after that, this one's going to go off. And it's going to hit the husk, and they're going to go. And they're going to get flung out here. So that's the concept of it. So just basically because so that both of these aren't going off at exactly the same time. So that this one reloads faster, this one a little slower, or you could do it the other way around, whichever, but this is a double and this is a single, and away you go. Oh, I see, I missed a tile. But yes, so that's the whole concept of double reload, single reload in wall and floor launchers. And if you want a really good example of why that would be good, is over here. And that would be in our Devil North recycler here that we kind of made. How to explain this? So Husk is going to walk in here. Both these traps are going to go off. This one probably might get him first. So he's going to get launched up there, and kicked back out. But this one's going to go off too. Now I don't remember which is double and which is single. I have no clue. I actually have to, when I go to, if I ever do release this as a build, I'll have to like time it out and figure it out. Make a video, play with the stopwatch. But anyways, so first husk is going to get hucked up there if that's double and this is single. That's probably the other way around actually. This is probably single reload and this is probably double, just because you want more. You want the floor trap there more than the wall traps, because it's better off to throw them up and out than it is to just punch them around inside here. So anyways, so these both go off at the same time. Our husk gets thrown up in the air. And then all of a sudden our trap starts reloading, right? And then of course more husks walk in and more husks walk in, and they're going to hit this tile while those are reloading, and they're going to get thrown up there. But then of course there's more walking on here, and say this is the double, say. This one will go off first again, and it's going to go knock the husk over here. But then 1.3 seconds later, this one's going to go off and knock a husk up there. So you always got some sort of husk getting punched or launched or knocked around anyway, somehow. Then we got a wall light here to stun them. So when they get over here and the wall light goes off, they're going to stand here for 2.5 seconds. Like a dummy. And then they're going to get up again. And then by that time, maybe one of these have reloaded. Or one of these. And they hit him again. And he's either going to get knocked over here. Or thrown back up there. And if he gets thrown up here, there's, lo and behold, there's matching floor launchers. Or, oh, maybe not. It might be durability. I don't know. It's been a while since I built this. But then, as long as you have single reload, you know that this one's going to go off and throw it up here. And then kick them out. And then when this one's reloaded, this one is as well. And then they're in sync. The floor launchers, anyhow. And of course, the cycle continues, right? They get back to this tile, they're going to get punted around. Same over here, they're going to get punted around. And I didn't do... I couldn't... Well, I couldn't. I guess I could have, but... guy could have almost put a floor here. And another one of those, you know, but then... You'd have to have like a 4 impact or something over there to get this husk over the top of this and way down there. And of course you'd probably have to put...
Let's build.
You'd probably want a wall there as well, right? Just in case they don't actually get flung all the way out. And then of course, plus we have 2 more traps in the back there that are throwing husks as well. So it's kind of... It's one of those things. You could get really fancy if you wanted to, just to try it, but then it gets really complicated and expensive. But that would be the premise behind reload speed and the wall launchers, flare launchers. And like back here too, the whole concept of this is they're going to walk in here and keep getting knocked around, and if the wall launcher hits them, it's always going to knock them to this side. And then this wall launcher is going to knock them in here, and this hopefully is the last husks that are over here. They're going to get hit by a wall light, which will stagger, like stun them, and a dance trap, and a tar pit, and another wall launcher. That's basically just to keep them in this tile for a few seconds, so this zapper can do its thing, if it's on reload or something, you know, or... Yeah. And hopefully this is one with 2 reload on it, but I doubt it. I doubt it. It's probably a 1... Is it a 144? Oh yeah, it is. This would be a double crit. Heavy hard hitter, but lots of reload time. So anyhow, yeah. Hopefully that answers some of your questions. And I mean, there are places like on Ramp Amp over here. Once I get there. That I don't have as many sound walls as you saw on Lava as on Ramp here. And I have single reload. I'll have a single as well. And then of course our purple, and then our double reload. And those other ones might have effect duration, these ones might not, because you can see it's 111, 101, 121, and maybe it was the same way. But I somewhere in amongst here I've been changing the effect durability, or effect duration, sorry, changing it out, actually putting it on my traps. I never had it for a long time. On these ones. So this one never had it, and this one didn't have it either. It was all Dura, and this is actually new. But then I may have put it on here as well. That's why these two don't have it, and only this one does, is I was trying to add effect duration to see if that helped with the old propane's blowing up lava down there. So anyways, but you can see here, I only have 3 sound walls here and 1 down here, and that's it. You don't see any more sound walls anywhere else. And I know you get propane husks over here, and they don't blow anything up whatsoever. And it could be the tire traps too, because tire traps will make a propane husk stop mid trying to blow up his tank. Like if he's stops here and this trap's reloading and he's trying to blow his tank up and this trap drops on him, yeah, his tank gets put out and he doesn't blow up, which is kind of nice. So tire traps are kind of cool for that. And in some of my tunnels, you see tire traps 2 tiles high, 1 tile in from the sound wall. Like not here, but this one would have a tire trap 2 tiles high, and that would be the reason for it. Would be trying to keep the propane husks from doing their thing. And usually it has 1 reload on it. These ones here all do 1 reload as well. So hopefully that answers all your questions. And I mean, any trap with reload on it, you can kind of play the same concept too. Like that's also why I have a 144 double crit here, and probably a 130 crit rating, crit damage reload, so that both these traps aren't going off at the same time all the time. Except for the very first husk that steps on them, of course. And then if there's still husks on it, when the first one's reloaded, it's going to go off. Be this one. And then, of course, 3.5 seconds later, this one's going to go off. Because I believe it's 8.5 and 12 for reload. Something like that, yeah. And then, of course, it starts all over again, even with wall dynamos. So that's why you see staggered wall dynamos in places. 144s and then 130s. Not all on the same tile, you know, like 144. Of course, 2 of them here, but that's besides the point. Anywhere I have 2, anyhow, I try to stagger them. And if I have 3, I'll just usually do 2 of 1. If it's close to the front, I'll have 2 with reload. If it's close to the back, I'll have 2 without reload. And 1 with, or whatever. So yeah, even freeze traps apply to it as well. Double reload, single reload. I usually put double reload on every freeze trap I have. They're very, very, very good trap. The floor freeze trap, I really like them. But they're only good, I find, in the front of the tunnel. Because sometimes, if the smasher walks across here and doesn't have enough impact guard taken away for what the trap's going to give him, he'll just keep walking. But, of course, if there's enough, if he has enough impact guard gone that the trap's actually going to break his impact guard, he will get frozen. But that's not always. But when a tar pit is here and a smasher steps on it, it's going to stop no matter what. Unless, of course, it's reloading, you know, or something like that. But if it's active, no matter what happens, it'll even stop a charging smasher. So, I do like tar pits in the back end better and freeze traps up front. And then, like I said, all my freeze traps have 2 reload. 3 impact, 2 reload. 2 and 2. And then 1 and 2. And all Dura 2 reload. And all of them have effect duration as well. They're a very handy trap. So. Alright, everybody. Hopefully that answers your questions. And yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know. Or if you still don't understand it, maybe I'll have to do some math and do some figuring for you guys. That'll take a bit, but still. Let me know if you have any questions. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a good day.